Thanks for tuning into What's in the Box, and today we're going to take a look at Neca's Back to the Future Ultimate Doc Brown Hazmat Suit version. That's a mouthful, let me tell you. But this film in particular is an all-time favorite of mine. Probably in my top 5, easily, of sci-fi movies. Um, I can't say enough about the film or the characters, so it's just better to jump right in and take a look at what's inside the box and take a look at Doc Brown himself. So here we have Doc out of the box, and he's kind of incredible, particularly the head sculpts. They nailed Christopher Lloyd's expressions without a doubt. This head right here is just out of this world. And then you happen to throw in this super goofy look as well. It's hard to tell what scene this particular head is from, but I do believe it's from the when this baby hits 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious. Yeah, and I think that's the expression he kind of shoots Marty at one point when piloting the remote control DeLorean. Yeah, it's the movie always makes me smile. It's the perfect 80s film. It just really kind of embodies a lot of stuff for me, especially as a kid. The excitement of the newness of a time travel film and just the characters and how they interacted. I still love it to this day. Doc here is perfectly capturing the early scene in the film. Uh, of course, that is when he calls up Marty to meet him at the Twin Pines Mall, which eventually becomes the Lone Pine Mall, and craziness ensues. Now, we have the hazmat suit itself, which is really just a straight white injected plastic. There's not a lot of low lights or highlights, and I guess that's okay. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more color in it than there is. You do have the nice biohazard symbol here on the back, and then of course you have the orange pockets and zip up pant legs here. All done pretty well. Uh, Out of the elbows and into the forearms is the underlying shirt that Doc's wearing here. You have a watch on one hand, and then you have one of Doc's contraptions on the other. There is a lot of rubbery material, particularly in the accessories here. Of course, you have whatever this doodad is running up into what looks like earbuds or something similar. Well, a stopwatch as well. His belt and utility belt hangs nicely off of one hip here, and that's got a lot of color in it, a lot of detail, as you can see. Um, Little doodads hanging off of it, all sorts of tools, yellow, silver, just everything in between. I mean, he's packed out as a character. You go down to what looks like some loafers or some brownish tan Nikes, and those have some color in them. They go from light to dark. And again, everything is sold by this head sculpt right here and this head sculpt. Both make me smile quite a bit. Accessory wise, they did provide you with 2 extra arms. So obviously, this would be for the scene where Doc is fully in his suit and removing the plutonium to put in the time machine. Both of these have little biohazard symbols on the gloves. The gloves are nicely weathered, and the sleeves match perfectly with the rest of the suit. Moving on to hand options, you have one hand that almost seems to be giving a thumbs up, but it looks like it could clasp his stopwatch or his little writing pad that they provided. You have a somewhat open hand here, which could probably be used for the gun, but ultimately that hand is reserved for the gloved hand, where he puts a pistol in it and he's shooting at the Libyans at one point. From there, we go on to the remote control for the DeLorean. This is really well done. Lots of detail, multi-level detail. Even the back has stuff in it. Even these little controls are perfectly done. And as you can see right there, it says 88 miles per hour. It's a really nice touch. I mean, you even have little danger symbols back here and paint work on the back. It's, yeah, that's a great little piece. Moving on, you have Doc's 6-shooter, which, funnily enough, if you think about that, and Doc's love for the Old West, which really isn't set up in the first film, this one little item totally comes back around, right? Because in the third film, he's in the Old West. 6-shooters and guns and everything in between. This is done well enough. It's basically a silver body with a pearl-looking handle. What you would expect from a small toy gun. We move on to his pad of paper, which he was jotting down notes here and there at the opening of the film. And Neca sneaked a little bit of something in. If you remember, Amblin Entertainment had a logo that was Elliot and E.T. leaping over the moon, and they have printed the logo right here on the pad. If you remember what Amblin Entertainment was, that was it Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg's company, or strictly Steven Spielberg's company? I can't remember. Comment below if you know. But that's a nice little cutesy touch that they pulled off. And then finally, we have Doc's clipboard, which includes a multitude of calculators, a ruler, I'm assuming, and this looks, let me take a look here. Not really sure, just random sundry paperwork and things that he was working on. All pretty good accessories, especially the remote control here. Really great accessory. And these that are hanging off of his body really do kind of set off the figure. Now, the one thing they didn't include was a hazmat head, which, of course, Neca being Neca, they had put out an accessory set that included that particular head. Yeah, not too bad. At least with that accessory set, we do get Einstein, which I really want. And I did end up buying it. So, another solid figure from NECA. After so many years, they've really nailed what they do. And they rarely put out a horrible action figure. They're all generally pretty good or even great. So, if you love Back to the Future as I do, hopefully you've been picking all these up. I have a few more to review, and I have a couple more to pick up. I don't have the Part 2 Marty. I don't have 1950s Doc. But other than that, I really wish they would do a Lorraine. I mean, and of course, George. They were integral to the plot. Come on, guys. NECA, hear me out. let's make these two and complete this set. But yeah, check him out again, as always. 40-ish, 37-ish dollars, somewhere in between there, depending on where you pick it up. Again, this was, who was this that I got this from? I think it was Big Bad Toy Store I picked this one up from, and he's currently available if you want to check him out. So thanks for sticking around, and I'll catch you next time.